Oh hi, redo the review. I'm gonna show you an empty box of Figma Daidouji Tomoyo. And why is this box empty right now? Well, because I'm redoing this review, because I already did it, took it out of the box and did all the stuff, but yeah, there was something corrupted with the file and everything, and there we go. So now I'm gonna do it again. Now I have a chance to do it better. So I'll take that as a positive, even though it's just kind of a waste of time. But anyway, for all you box enthusiasts, this is the box. You have the figure in kind of different poses with all kinds of Japanese text. And with her BFF, Sakura, of course, gotta have that on board. But yeah, and what else do we have? Like a 20-year anniversary. Looks good. Looks nice. But yeah, let's not look at the box anymore and have a look at the figure. Boom. And there we have the mastermind, the brains of the operation. I say that because wasn't she like really coming up with all the schemes, and I mean she made all the costumes, so all you cosplay fangirls, fanboys, whatever, you can thank this character for all the different Sakura costumes. Hi! Let's look at her height real quick. She's very petite, as she should be, because she's like, what, an 8-year-old schoolgirl? So she stands in about a little over 11.5 centimeters, between 11.5 and 12 centimeters, which means she's about 4.5 inches. A little over that, probably. But yeah, let's have a look at the fine detail real quick. First of all, the face sculpt, as usual with these Figmas. Job well done. There's no shading really going on, but the hair is molded nicely. You have all the lines going on, the red lines going on. Plastic. I mean, it's mostly, there's not really that much paint to speak of. It's just like white plastic, black plastic. Nothing really super special. But I mean, it's a school uniform. It's one of these things where you could be like, oh, it's so bland, blah 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 blah. What else do you want to do? That's the design, guys. Okay, moving over to the articulation. First of all, the head. It's kind of like connected to the back of the head, which is kind of weird. I mean, back of the hair, actually. So you have this piece over here, which, let's say it's move back and forth. You get a lot of forward motion, backward motion, not so much. I mean, you can kind of, if you force it, you can play around with it. But it's kind of like all this angle. It kind of looks up. It doesn't really look up so straight. But you can. It's one of these things. You can kind of pull it out a little bit, as you just saw. I kind of like packed it back in, so you can. It's one of these things you can play around with, but it might look weird if you pull it out like that, because there's the joint. Gets a lot of wiggle motion and goes around, and then we have more in the hair. We have actual ball joints under there, so you can get the hair, move it up and move it together like that. And it's actually molded nicely. When you push it like together like that, it looks pretty good. The only problem is it kind of leaves a huge gap if you try to do like spread out. They could have done this piece, like, you know, extended it a little over here to get it down there. But I mean, it's one of these things. This is completely soft plastic. This is like super thin also, so that doesn't get in the way. That really just, it's there to help. And then we have these little parts. Also, it's very soft, like I said. As you can tell, you can just like, whee! That will not hinder any movement. So then the shoulder parts, these go up like that, go down, and it kind of, you can rotate it like this. And of course, the ball moves around. It's kind of, because of the rotation, it's kind of hard to do though. But yeah, you can move that around. And at the elbow, which looks very ugly, but this is like a petite figure, and it's kind of like the deal with that. But you get good motion. Of course, it also rotates around, goes up and down, and then at the hand also goes around, goes forward and back. Not really that much. It's heavily blocked by this part. Nothing going on in the torso here. Kind of rotates around down at the hip. Doesn't really go back or forth that much. Doesn't really get anything out of that. I mean, like, just a little bit, just a bit of motion, but not that great. And then at the legs, now they did a good job with the skirt. First of all, it's nicely done. It looks good. It looks natural. And then you have like all this extra room in here, so it kind of like overlaps over there. So if you kind of like pull them out like that, and it's the material though of the skirt itself. It's still kind of thick, but it will move out of the way. It just, you know, it could be a little bit softer, just like that. Like this just kind of goes like whoop, on the hair and everything over here. But this is still pretty sturdy. I don't know. I mean, like I said, it will move out of the way if you do force it. And it goes forward and back. Pretty much all the way. Nothing to complain there. And then we have again, the still ugly knee joints. I mean, this is Figma. I don't know when they're going to fix that. Also, the legs rotate. Never mind. Sorry about that. Rotate around, and then at the knee, it's not rotate. Well, it kind of goes side to side a little bit. Ankle rocker. Side to side motion, nicely. Forward, all the way, pretty much all the way, and back, definitely all the way. And there we go. Very nimble little girl. So let's get to the accessories. First of all, she has the smiling face with her eyes closed. Looking good. And a winky face with like kind of like a kissy mouth or whatever. She blow a kiss, probably. Something like that. Hands, there's only these. First of all, if the camera would focus, thank you camera. So you have fist hands. Are those fist hands? Yeah, those fist hands. Those are fist hands. That is a sentence. And we kind of have the open hands to hold something. And it's probably for Sakura staff. I gotta try that out. Oh wait, I don't have Sakura staff on Figma. Ha! And she comes with kind of like a weird add-on. I don't know about that one. It's angled arms, guys. It's just like, I don't know. I talked about the arms, how they look kind of weird, and the big joint. So you get like extra arms. And this is not like the SH figure out, it's kind of like crossed arms. No, those are just like angled like that. Which I don't, let's see, hold on. Well, it actually doesn't really go up that far, or does it? Well, almost. So, I mean, yeah. I guess more power to you. I mean, it's a little bit of extra, whatever. She comes with a backpack. If the camera would focus. Camera, please, play along with this. Which you can pack into the back, and then for the base you have a pack down there. And of course, she has the camcorder already with the hand in there, which I think is a nice idea. You know, instead of kind of fidgeting around to make this work, just make the hand part of the mold and have the camcorder in there immediately. So this is actually very nicely detailed. And also she got like this one where she has the hands folded together. And that's really the big reason why there's only these four hands in here and these places are empty, because you have the folded ones as an extra and you have the one on the camera. So I'm okay with that. Then she comes with a head, you know, to complete the school uniform, kind of sailor school uniform. And she has an extra hairpiece to kind of peg that in there. I'm gonna try that out later. And of course, as usual, you get the standard Figma base. Good stuff. And Figma bag. And instructions. And all that stuff. So as I'm putting this together for my final thoughts, I kinda wanted to try something out. I immediately thought I'm probably not gonna put the backpack on, because the hair doesn't really work around with it so well. And I mean, it's one of these things, it's not really a big misstep by them, but it's like, you can't really, I mean, the only really way to have it look kind of natural is to really spread out the hair. And then you have the big gap over here. But then, I mean, you will see the backpack. If you put on the backpack and just put the hair over it, you won't really see it. But then the hair always kind of stands away like that, or you just have to move it up. Even to get the head straight. So it's like kind of, I mean, what are you gonna do? They put the backpack on there and that's cool, but it's just not, I mean, the best part again is if they just had like something going down over here that wasn't as long as the rest, it just kind of filled up the gap over there. But yeah. it's comparison time. So, I mean, first of all, obviously they look good together. But yeah, definitely the same thing going on, just with like different hands and shoes and whatnot. A couple of things to note. First of all, her head. Let's get Sakura out of there real quick. Her head kind of just kind of floats in there. It's not on super tightly. I said it pegged in, but it is being held on. And now of course it's super tight on there. Ha, joke's on me. But I mean, it's not really pegged, and it's just kind of held together with that. Another thing, I talked about the hair so much. They still kind of have a gap there with the pack. So I guess if they would have made a part that kind of covered it up, that would have been bad for the pack. I don't know. It's meh. Enough about that. I've been asked in the last Sakura review about her staff, and this is the SH Figure Art staff. Just for the record, this is not the Figma one, because I don't have the Figma Sakura in the pink outfit. And somebody already asked me in the last video if the Figma Sakura, this one, can hold the staff of the SH Figure Arts one. The answer is kinda. And for this is the hand of Tomoyo, and it's the same thing like with the Sakura. She holds it. It doesn't fall out, but it doesn't really stay in place. But you can, of course, that's something you can push together, kind of play around with some hot water, maybe put a tiny bit of glue on there, and I mean, it already stays a lot better now after one push. So it works. If you want to do it, it can work. So there you go. But let's get to the final thoughts of this character. Well, as you can tell, it is a simple design, but it's a simple design executed well. I mean, the hair is a thing which... Actually, you know, at the end, they didn't even have to add articulation. They could have just made one flat piece over here with a hole in the middle and could have called it a day. But, you know, they tried around with things, and in the end, I prefer that, other than just take the lazy way out. Compared to Sakura, she has a lot less of extra parts, but I do think she's also a lot cheaper than Sakura. So basically you get what you pay for. And other than that, the figure looks great. It's a nice addition. It's definitely a character that fits, and a character that they should have done. Now you have the BFF on board, you got your Sakura, you got your pink Sakura, and you got your SH Figure Art Sakura. So definitely a nice character addition. And like I said, she looks good. So if you're a fan of Cardcaptor Sakura or the character, go get her. Has my recommendation. Whee! Yay! As usual, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this review, feel free to hit up with a like and maybe subscribe for more figure reviews, gameplay stuff, and whatever Tomoyo wants. Goodbye.